everybody. My name is Damian Journey, Global Chief Growth Officer at 72 and Sunny, and I couldn't be more excited to be here back at the sunny side here in Cannes at the Cannes Lions International Festival of Creativity, sitting at Sport Beach. Welcome, and most importantly, welcome to my man, David Picioski, the head of marketing at team sports at Wilson. Welcome, Dave.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so is this your first time to Cannes?
It is my first time.
Okay, so give me your initial impressions of Cannes.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's hot.
It's
but
hot.
It's beautiful. Great networking, great people, great scenery. So yeah. I'm happy to be here.
So, Cannes is a lot.
Yeah.
You're at Sport Beach, though.
It's a place to be.
You've heard about Sport Beach. We've talked about Sport Beach probably for 2 years together.
Yeah.
It's your first time on the ground. What do you think?
It's incredible. I would say, first of all, I came yesterday at 9 a.m. and there was like a 50-person line. So I said I'm going to come back later.
Okay. Yeah.
But the energy is palpable. Sport just brings, I think, the best out of people. It's so synonymous with culture. So it's just the perfect fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And there's lots of people here that are actually playing sport, not just talking about it.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, one of the things that makes this space so different.
Yeah.
Which is a perfect segue to talk about you and Wilson. You can't play sport, almost any sport, without using Wilson products. Tell me broadly, what is the Wilson portfolio like?
Yep.
And we can dig more into bits and pieces of it as we go along.
Absolutely. So we're at the forefront of sports, and to your point, every game, we hope, is played with a Wilson ball, and part of that is my job to make sure that we're getting the brand in front of as many people as possible and showcasing the breadth and the depth of the products that we create. We stand true to youth to pro. That's something we say every day. We want to make sure that we're your child's first ball and the professional athlete's last ball. So we stand by that.
That's great.
And we want to make sure that we're creating as much product diversity as possible, from recreational products to professional level products that you see on NBA courts or NFL fields. We're behind all of that, and we want to be at the forefront of it. I think the other spin we're putting is trying to make Wilson as much of a brand that matters on the court, but as much off the court as well. So lifestyle space, creativity, style, fashion, all of that is what we weave into our brand as well.
Okay, I want to dig into fashion. I want to come back to that because that's one that I think is news to some people. If you watch the NBA at all, you can't avoid watching a Wilson ball being played with. If you watch NFL, you've never seen a football game that didn't include a Wilson ball. Every touchdown ever thrown, everyone ever caught was with the Wilson ball.
Yep.
Let's start with that. Let's talk about the things that people are used to seeing. You're in baseball.
Yep.
You're in basketball, you're in football, you're in golf, you're in
soccer,
tennis.
And volleyball and tennis, and pickleball and paddle, and the list goes on and on.
Do you make bats?
We do. So we own Louisville Slugger.
Oh, so you make bats too.
Di Marini. So we are very well astute within the baseball space.
Within the baseball space. Is that your most established unit? You're a 100-year-old company or so?
111.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I would say we've touched probably any sport you've ever thought of. As far as established, you mentioned the NFL as an example. We've been partners with the NFL for 85 years.
Wow.
It's one of the I'll say that it's the longest tenured sports partnership in history across any sport or any brand out there. So we're incredibly proud of that. I think it places a lot of trust. The NFL places a lot of trust in us to keep that partnership going for so long, because we do create the best product that's on the field. We continue to innovate and put the brand at the forefront of everything we do as well. So that speaks to the legacy and the heritage. We were the OG partner of the NBA for a number of years.
Yeah.
We went away. We came back now with the NBA and the WNBA, which is on the rise in a very big way. So we're excited about that. Tennis, we go back decades. It's just a heritage. Legacy is all about
US
who we are.
Open?
US
right?
Open,
Like
Roland Garros.
Roland Garros, all the above.
Yeah.
Tennis rackets are like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
You get very used to seeing the W on all of these surfaces and in the hands of the best tennis players in the world.
Yeah.
It's a unique and honored position to help the very best people at a thing do their thing the very best. It's a remarkable position to be in. And yet, in some ways, it's like people don't even notice.
Yeah.
And so how do you, as a marketer, help people notice the thing that everyone's using that people just don't seem to pay as much attention to?
Yeah.
What are you guys up to on that front?
That's a challenge. That's our challenge. I wake up every day trying to solve that challenge as best as I possibly can. And I think the center of all of it, and what centers us as a marketing team especially, is storytelling. I always say that if, product is just a product on a shelf until it has a story behind it. So you actually give people a reason to buy that. We want to create an emotional connection with consumers. Obviously, they're physically using our products, but there's got to be that deeper layer of why am I buying it?
Yeah.
What's the purpose? Is it because I was inspired that I saw it on a professional court? Is it because all my friends are playing with it, or my son or daughter, has friends that are playing with these balls, and so I want to purchase that, or equipment in general. So that's the epicenter of what drives us, is storytelling. And our job every day is to write the most compelling briefs and put as much inspiration and energy into our creative teams and our product teams, who are also incredibly creative, to develop the most innovative products that hopefully make our jobs easier too.
Wow. I think that's such a great insight, because I can remember meeting you all, and I was telling a story about how all I wanted to do on Christmas morning was to wake up to a Wilson basketball. I played basketball. I'm from Flint, Michigan. We hoop there.
Yeah.
I did a lot of basketball playing, but to have a Wilson ball meant something different than having a Spalding or whatever there's another brand that starts with a B or
We don't have to
something. Who
talk
knows? But to wake up with one of these balls really meant something. Like if someone cared enough to get me the best ball available.
Yep.
And in the course of that, the story of Ada, Ohio came about. Why don't you talk to us about that story?
Yeah.
Because I think it's really an all-American one, if you ask me.
It is. So we have a football factory in Ada, Ohio. It's been there since 1950, somewhere around there. And at that factory, we make every single game football that is made of leather is produced in that factory by real humans, craftsmen and women, 2 pieces of leather, and you end up with the final product after a 25-step process. So every NFL football that has graced a field has been made out of one facility in a small town of Ada, Ohio, that is so proud of that fact.
Yeah.
And it comes across in the product, and it's just an incredible brand statement, I think, for us to be able to say we make every single football that has ever graced an NFL field. It's really cool.
An all-American sport.
It is.
When you had a chance recently to refurbish that factory,
We did.
there was a chance to maybe move it somewhere else that might have been a little bit cheaper to manufacture these balls. And what did you all choose to do?
We chose to stay there.
Yeah,
And build it right next door.
right next door. Build a new
So
factory
it's a state-of-the-art facility that we built and invested quite a lot in it. And the biggest reason was because of the people. It's skilled labor. It's not just, you and I can't just walk in there and make that. That takes years and years of practice and knowledge and skill, craftsmanship, right? That's what we are super proud of, is every ball is slightly different in a way because it's made by real people. So
by hand.
Naturally, when it's made by hand, it's that's part of the process. So
Yeah, those laces are literally sewn in.
Yep.
Like you would lace your shoe. It's like remarkable to watch people actually take the leather parts, put them together, sew them together, flip it inside out, outside in, and put the bladder inside. It's just a meticulously slow, crafts-based process to make this ball that we all watch incessantly on Sundays and Mondays and Thursdays.
and pretty soon every day.
On Fridays, probably pretty soon. Yeah, exactly.
And you've seen it happen in person because at the Super Bowl every single year, we bring a truncated version of that football making experience to the fans at the Super Bowl experience. So you can sit there and essentially watch real people put together a football in front of you in like 10 minutes. And it is one of the coolest experiences. If you haven't experienced it and you're at the Super Bowl, you find yourself at the Super Bowl, please come and see us and check it out because it's remarkable. And the best part is we bring in talent every single year that is local to that environment. We bring our Ada craftsmen and women, but we also bring NFL talent to come in. So you have the Ada craftsmen and women working with an NFL player. This year in New Orleans, we had Drew Brees come by, in addition to many others, and it was a zoo, first of all, because it was Drew Brees in New Orleans. But it was just magical to feel the energy and to actually see players who are first learning about this. and getting to do it, and he had his kids part of it, so it was really cool.
And I can tell you, if you ever get a chance to do this, it's worth it. Go to the Fan Zone, Fan Experience. Yeah. Go get a ball made, and they will actually laser engrave it, so your ball is personalized with your name or the name of your favorite team. Yeah. You can literally walk away with a regulation NFL leather football with your name on it, and that's something special. I have one at home, and I gave one to my daughter and son, and selfishly I bought one for myself, and so it's like it's a piece of pride that I have something that's so authentic and official.
And we were talking about Easter eggs before this outside. The Easter egg that we do with that experience is the ball starts inside out first, and then the sewing, and then you flip it around like you've seen. We let everyone personalize the inside of the ball, their name with their kid's name or whatever it is, so no one will ever see it, but you know it's there, that it's inside of that makes it really special.
Gosh.
So that's awesome.
You guys are great at that. I want to talk fashion, because you're wearing some beautiful merch.
I am.
I'm a big fan of my man bag, Wilson, whatever this thing is called, fanny pack
pouch
from the 90s. We used to call it a fanny pack. Talk to us about your fashion line, because I can tell you that it is such high quality material. I love what you make. Tell us about that side of the business.
Yeah, well, I'm going to speak for my friends Jess and Joelle back
Jess,
at home, who lead
shout out to Jess and Joelle.
All the product and the marketing for our sportswear line. But we started sportswear probably about 5 years ago, and I would say it has sort of revolutionized our brand. For the longest time, we were known as a hard goods company. Specialized in that. Excellent at that.
Hard goods is like equipment.
Okay. Exactly, yeah. So now moving into the territory of soft goods, it's a newer territory for us, but we have experts in this space who have decades of experience within this arena. And we specifically picked the racket sports tennis space to design apparel for. That is a grounded foundational sport for us, and it felt like it was just a ripe opportunity if we're going to enter the market to enter it in that specific space. So everything you see from us, if you go on wilson.com, you're welcome, Jess, you can see all the apparel that we have, and it's incredible. It's very functional. It's meant to be worn to the court, on the court, and home from the court.
But there's so much stuff that I own a bunch of this Wilson gear now, and I have never played tennis more than 7 minutes
just love the fashion
in my whole life. But it looks great, and it feels even better. And so I'm a big advocate for it. I have a beautiful Wilson short set that I would like to wear, but it's got this huge W, and I think you would have recognized it from last year when I wore it, because I love it that much. So I'm not rocking it this season.
It's okay.
But I'll be rocking it later on this week.
It's all right.
We talked about hard goods, we've talked about soft goods, but we've not talked about innovation. And to me, that's really exciting, because having played basketball a lot and played football, like, I'm used to this, the feel of this thing, and I see it on the court all the time. But you guys are doing some really cool things with innovation. Colors. You have some recycled goods balls. Tell us about that level of innovation, and then move on to anything new that might be out and available.
Absolutely. So honestly, on the trend of fashion and lifestyle and just being more creative, we have had to be more creative with the products that we're developing to try to speak to as many people as possible. So you could be a player and you'll buy a ball, but maybe you want a specific colorway or whatever. We offer that.
You have multiple colorways of basketball.
Oh, I mean, so many. As many as you can think of. Football is in addition as well.
I want a rosé one before I leave. Can I do that?
Yeah, I think
there's one over there. Okay, cool.
But in addition, we are making products for fans, right? So as the NBA does City Edition jerseys for all the different teams, we have City Edition basketballs that we pair with the jerseys. So the jersey, basically, or the ball looks exactly like the jersey, and we put a unique creative touch on it. So there is that realm to it as well, which is super unique. And again, speaking to the fan, you may not play, but you love to display.
Yeah, you love to display.
So
fact.
We put that up, put that on your mantle or in your office or something.
Yeah.
There's a need and a market for that as well. But an area that I'm super excited about, and I know you are too, pushing the boundaries on innovation. And I'll just bring up this guy over here.
What?
This is our 3D printed airless basketball that we came out with a couple of years ago. And I say that we came out with it a couple of years ago, but it's actually been 5 to 7 years in the making. It is a polymer sort of material that's used to create this. You can see through it. There's holes in it. But it bounces. It weighs exactly the same as an NBA, or closely as an NBA basketball. And really, we get the question every time, and you heard
Yeah.
Noah out there
We're
playing
out there
with
with
it.
Noah Lyles just dribbling around.
Yeah. And the question is always, well, why did you do it, right?
Why'd you do it?
And my answer to that is we have a core value at Wilson that says without risk, innovation is impossible. We got to put the brand out there, and we have to try new and innovative things because we are a market leader. And as a market leader, you have a responsibility to push the boundaries, both from a physical product perspective, but also push the boundaries of people's minds.
Yeah.
What can they dream of, and could we make that happen? So this was basically a prompt that was given to our engineering team that said, if you were to redesign the basketball, how would you do it? And they did extensive research, 3D printing on the rise, this unique sort of powder that gets turned into this material with lasers, and we ended up with this. And testing after testing after testing, we felt comfortable enough that in the 2023 NBA Dunk Contest, we actually integrated it. We worked with KJ Martin, who's an NBA player, and he actually dunked with this ball.
What?
And that was the unveil of the ball to the market. So the reception was incredible, billions of impressions, and at the end of the day, it's pushing the brand forward.
Yeah.
This is not going to be at scale. This is not going to be mass available anytime soon, but it puts the brand at the forefront of people's minds, and hopefully the next time you think of Wilson, you think of technology and innovation and not just products.
Yeah, and that same sort of ingenuity innovation shows up in all your other lines, be it golf or baseball
Absolutely.
and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But like the idea of a basketball without air that dribbles like a basketball with air is just groundbreaking.
It is.
And I know you were saying that like Steph and the boys were playing with this, like actually playing. Steph and KD, tell me about that.
We brought it to All-Star this year. We've brought it to All-Star for the past couple of years, but we brought it to All-Star this year, and I'm at the game watching, and I go on my phone and I'm scrolling through Instagram, and I see a video of, I don't know, Bleacher Report, somebody else posted Kevin Durant shooting with it before the game, Steph Curry shooting with it before the game, and I look over at my team, I'm like, how did this happen? And our engineer was like, I just went on the court and they said, hey, pass me the rock. So they threw the ball to him and they started playing around with it. But they got to buy into it too, right?
Yeah.
And this isn't going to be on an NBA court, maybe never, but it's that thought process, and like, can we get people to at least expand their minds of what the game could look like if we brought in incredible technology into the process?
Well, it's so perfect because like what this does is it's not only fun and interesting, but it really solves Deflategate. Can't have Deflategate if there's no air in the ball. So
and you can't have an interview without someone mentioning Deflategate.
I just have to bring it up because it seems to me, when we're talking about balls, we're football, which is my favorite sport, that a ball without air cannot be deflated. So
that is true.
Take that,
that
haters.
Is true. That is true.
All right, with that, I'm a Patriots fan. Well, at least I was a Patriots fan. Tom Brady went to Michigan, so go
you're a
blue.
Tom fan?
Yeah, I'm a Tom fan.
Okay.
So y'all get off our back, go blue, national championships. Anyway, it's been great spending time with you, learning about the business of an item we use all the time, but maybe don't think about as much as we should. And so thank you all for like stepping up the game, making sure there's merch to be purchased,
of course,
and, apparel that is beautiful. And clearly more innovations on the ball front, both with the city league balls or the city team balls and the innovations on that front. It's really cool to see the way you've taken something that could be viewed as kind of mundane and really made it interesting while keeping the fun both for kids and for professionals in the mix.
It's our expertise and our passion, and we'll continue doing this. So stay tuned. And I'll give one plug.
Okay.
We have a Caitlin Clark partnership. We signed Caitlin Clark last year.
We love Caitlin Clark.
She's been incredible to work with, and we just announced year 2 of that partnership, and we dropped an ad last week. So check out our Wilson basketball channels for that. The launch is on Monday, June 23rd.
Okay.
If nothing else, check out the content. It is incredible. She inputted into the designs and the making of the ball as much as any athlete I think you've ever heard of. We did it extensively, months after months of innovation with her and conversations to get to the final collection that we landed on. So I'm super proud of the team and everyone that worked on the Caitlin Clark partnership. It's been incredible for the brand.
I mean, you could not have had a better brand ambassador than her.
She's incredible.
She's incredible. Moving the game forward in a way no one else has been able to do. So
I agree.
Hats off to you all for that one.
Thank you.
And for you all, thanks so much for joining us here at Sport Beach, hosted by Stagwell. It's been so much fun learning about Wilson and talking about it. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.